Joe Richardson, civil rights attorney at McCune Law Group, getting into it once again, breaking it down, the law and common sense.
Now it's time for me to get into some political talk due to a headline that I just saw yesterday that I found very, very interesting. Far-right conservative Candace Owens is speaking out against one of her favorite people in the world, supposedly, Mr. President Donald Trump himself, and accusing the administration of fighting against free speech right here in the United States of America. The comments are a reference to Harvard University, who is suing the Trump administration for threatening to withhold federal funding if the school did not comply with its list of White House demands. As a result, lawyers for the university sued the administration earlier this week. In the suit, university lawyer claimed the Trump administration is unlawfully using billions of dollars in federal funding as, quote, leverage to gain control of academic decision-making at Harvard, end quote. They also allege that the funding freeze violates the First Amendment and flouts federal law. And that is essentially what Owens is saying as well. Take a listen to her thoughts from her podcast yesterday.
I never thought that I would see a day where I would be rooting for a university above Donald J. Trump and his administration. But I don't recognize his administration right now. I don't recognize what's happening. I have a theory.
But wait, well, hold up. When did you start not recognizing the administration? Because administration is never worried about violating the Constitution. What you probably mean to say is that unless and until they violated the Constitution in this particular way, I was going to be okay. Any supporter of this administration can't trip off of him violating the Constitution because he does it all the time. Okay, continue.
I do. We were kicking around some theories earlier, me and the team, and we were going, how could Trump be such a free speech enthusiast and allowing these things to happen?
Because he's Donald Trump. He'll flip on you in a second. He'll flip on you like a pancake. He'll change on you. I mean, hello. I mean, have you not been paying attention? He'll throw anybody or anything under the bus. He talks out of both sides of his mouth, and so he's okay with being inconsistent. Whatever serves his ends. One day the world is flat. The next day it's round. That's Donald Trump. I know, and Candace is a smart person. You tell me you didn't realize that?
Going after college universities, trying to suppress speech while pretending that you're not suppressing speech, while pretending that you're fighting DEI. It's so messy. It's so obvious. Everyone knows what you're doing. People who are still trying to grift, I suppose.
Does everybody really know what he's doing? I'm not sure. I think a lot of people know what he's doing, and some people don't care. But many people that voted for Donald Trump who are not on the educated side of things, I don't know that they know, or I don't know that they care. Either way it comes out, those are both one just as bad as the other because it's the same negative effect. That's why you have what's happening right now.
Are not willing to challenge you on this, which is ridiculous, because when you are out of office, we are going to have to live with these consequences. Our children are going to have to.
You're right. Candace is right about that. We are going to have to deal with these consequences, but and no one will challenge him on this. When was the last time Congress challenged him on anything in the last 100 days? They haven't. They just look the other way. That's one of the reasons it's so hard right now that the courts have to pretty much do everything. And now he's defying court orders too. But he didn't just Congress didn't just start ignoring everything that he was doing, overlooking things that are constitutional, blatantly unconstitutional. They're doing it now as it pertains to what seems to be Candace's favorite issue, but they've been doing it since day one, pretty much here.
To grow up in this America. Okay. So when you threaten our speech, it's not worth it so that we can have pom-poms and go hurrah for a couple of years, then go, okay, well, yeah, now it kind of stinks because, we're getting arrested for wrongthink. We got David Friedman. Yeah, arrest him. Arrest Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. Get them. I love it.
Well, I'm not as concerned about people being arrested if you have an upstanding person that's president of the United States, somebody that believes in the Constitution. People in the media won't necessarily be arrested because they're in the media and they have something opposite to what the president likes to say. Now, that's going on right now. And maybe there's some out there that say what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But I don't know that if you have somebody that believes in the Constitution, that this ends up being a problem. Now, admittedly, a lot of people think that there's a problem because because President Trump was ever arrested and convicted and things like that. So if you believe that President Trump should not have been convicted, et cetera, and we can rehash that all day long, then of course you're concerned about that because you think that what happened to him shouldn't have happened. But that's our fundamental disagreement about what's right and wrong, frankly.
And if you think it's going to stop with college campuses, you're out of your mind. So you better.
And that's true. It's not going to stop for college campuses, particularly for Donald Trump. He's arresting judges. He's threatening to arrest other folks. He's putting a hammer on law firms, some of which are capitulating. And so, out of your mouth to God's ears. That's exactly what's happening right now. And it didn't just start happening with this Harvard situation. It's been happening. And I believe there's 2 judges arrested so far as well. So, you're right about that. But that's Trump doing that. That's your boy doing that.
Buck up and root for Harvard University in this fight.
First off, to stop the presses and disappoint some of y'all, Candace Owens is not totally wrong.
And Candace Owens is not always totally wrong. As it pertains to her righteous indignation related to this lawsuit, related to what Donald Trump is doing, I think she's right about that. But she's not right enough of the time for us to be thrilled about it.
Which side do you roll on? And why? You want me to give y'all a piece of advice on this subject? Bump the individuals. Don't think about Donald Trump. Don't think about Candace Owens. Think about the issue. Think about the potential policy, not the people. Because if you really, really think about what has ailed our society, that's really what it comes down to. We don't like him or her. We love him or her. And that's what the issue is. And a lot of times our emotions are dictated by people we do or don't like, as opposed to the actual policy and issues that will affect lives far extended beyond ourselves. This is one of those times. Candace Owens is bringing up the issue of free speech. And Donald Trump, who she has supported for years, is challenging Harvard's right to do whatever it wants as an institution of higher learning, which, by the way, is a private institution. Who's right? Who's wrong? The courts will decide. And if the courts decide that Donald Trump is right, Candace Owens is arguing that the courts will be giving him the right to impede on free speech, not just for institutions of higher learning, but for American citizens all over this nation. Is she right? Or is he right? Inquiring minds would love to hear what you think. That's why you got to watch this. I know I am. Oh, I know I am.
Well, it's not a bad thought, I guess, to focus on the issue or whatever else. But the only problem is it's 6 months late. This country already voted for a person, a personality, a sideshow, a circus, a fill in the blank, despite the fact that on many issues, it would be against your enlightened self-interest. People walk around all the time, say they want to shut down the borders. And we want to ship out all the immigrants and all the people that are here illegally, this and that and the other. And they are deporting, the president's deporting citizens. Okay, so pick your issue. Stephen, that ain't a bad idea, but you're 6 months too late on it. Why? Because people voted for the person and the personality. Persons, too bad, but persons and personalities get elected. And so now you get to deal with everything it comes with, including being on the wrong side of issues and having it negatively affect us. So it's not bad advice. It's not bad advice. Just a little bit too late. So in conclusion, I mean, I think the advice that you've heard, the best part of it is what we should always be doing anyway. We should always be thinking for ourselves. We shouldn't be moved back and forth by personalities and certainly by what we're scared of. We should be motivated by what we hope for. And then it makes it less likely that we choose the wrong person. And then we get worried when they do something unconstitutional, when that's what they do and that's what they said they'd be doing. So believe in yourself enough to do the right thing. If something in the milk ain't white, call it before you start drinking the milk. All right. So if you like what you've seen, Joe Richardson here, make sure you like, share, let folks know, and we're going to keep talking back and forth. All right. Peace out.